Welcome to the 5th unit, 3rd lesson, all about entrepreneurship. I wish you to be an entrepreneur from the rural level, because rural situations and rural areas offer the best opportunities for all of you to flourish and add so much value to the rural areas. With that wish, I would like to begin this lesson, and I will be telling you about the definitions of entrepreneurship, theories of entrepreneurship, and how innovation and other factors affecting it, why people become entrepreneurs. Okay. So, with that, let us start the journey into the concept of entrepreneurship. As I told you, the entrepreneurial action begins with identification of a lucrative opportunity, which can be used by an individual who will be setting up things to cater to that requirement. Okay. Say for example, during the pandemic times, many Ayurvedic doctors and many Ayurvedic drug making companies coming out with preventive drug or immunity boosters, because they found that there is so much of market for enhancing the immunity. Prevention is better than the cure. That is the sutra that has been taken as a leverage point for many people. And even many of the hospitals started dovetailing Ayurveda and homeopathy to ensure that the allopathic drugs will not give so much of toxicity, which means when you take an allopathic drug, you will certainly have some side effects. How to reduce the side effects is one entrepreneurial opportunity for many hospitals to come out from the shell or the glass box saying that I do only Ayurveda, allopathic medicine. No, many people are coming out and opening up and they are saying that yes, patients require different treatment, different things. And you will see that COVID has given several new opportunities. Okay. There was no mask making in en masse. You see that there are so many masks which are being made, and even the sanitizers, there are sanitizers which are being used, and there are overcoats to prevent contact of disease, and the face guards. You see, so many things are new, and people are taking up these things because they understood that these are all the avenues. So, the entrepreneurial action begins with the identification of a lucrative opportunity, an opportunity which is going to give them profit. Macmillan and Shepard model talks about two phases, rather two stages. Okay. One is the attention stage, other one is evaluation stage, which is action specific, and there is still an amount of uncertainty. Say for example, in the pandemic situation, you know that the COVID is now mutating into various variants. Okay. You have a Delta variant, now you have Omicron. How do you deal with it? What is the vaccine which is going to take care of all variants? Now, many people are starting about that. There is absolutely no market for vaccinations these days. Only after COVID, the production of vaccine has developed and gained momentum, which means there is no prior knowledge. But there is a prior knowledge of creating vaccines for polio, plague. There are vaccinations, but there were pandemics also, but this new pandemic has not got any prior knowledge. People died because of that. So, what is the motivation? Motivation is to save people. Motivation is to earn profits by indulging in activities which are going to save people give trust to the people that it is a curable disease, we can cure it or we can at least avoid it. Okay. So, attention stage is nothing but a stage where the entrepreneur prepares himself or herself for a situation which is going to become the next phase, that is evaluation. Okay. So, he will find out what are the feasible things that I can acquire, okay, what are desirable and what kind of motivation is required to be given to the end users and also to the people who are indulging in. For example, you see everybody is shit scared of COVID, but yet doctors, nurses, paramedical staff guarded themselves, treated COVID patients. They treated COVID patients so closely by standing behind them, before them, beside them. Why? What is the motivation? There are three ways of looking at this motivation. One is that, one is the dedication to the profession they have taken. My profession is to save lives. Okay. Why hospitals have become entrepreneurs? By opening up COVID wards. Their intention is to save lives, get name. Of course, I know very well you may be asking this question within yourself, that hospitals earned huge profits. For a disease which does not have a medicine, they still gave treatment and they charged bombs, I mean to say huge money for that. So, there is a wicked, I think say very bad entrepreneurial skill that has emerged out of this COVID pandemic, but you must understand these two phrases are critical for any person to indulge in, entrepreneurial action. I just gave this example to help you understand that in a context. The definitions. Entrepreneur, as the word was already popular, is a French word. It emerged as a functional concept. Richard Catalan, a French management thinker, used the word entrepreneur for all those who buy factors of production at certain prices with the aim to sell the product at profitable prices in the future. What are the factors of production? Raw material, capital, human resources, okay, machinery. These are the factors of production. A person who is an entrepreneur will buy them at certain price. Say for example, the sum total of all these buying is 100 rupees. By using them, he will produce a product and sells at 150 rupees. What is the profit? 50 rupees. So, entrepreneur is one who will be first of all understanding whether there is a market for a price of 150. Will there be buyers? If there are buyers, then factors of production will certainly be bought. 1. Jean-Baptiste Say, who happens to be an aristocratic industrialist, was probably the first person to discriminate between meaning of the entrepreneur and the capitalist. By highlighting the component of risk involved, he explained the term he kept across few other crucial entrepreneurial functions such as supervision, coordination and organization. I would like you to understand two things. A capitalist, he may not be an entrepreneur. He has a knack of investing in ventures which are going to give him a good return on investment. He must have had some risk assessment, but if he finds an entrepreneur, he will invest his money into that entrepreneur's venture and earn huge profits. The reason is that he has to do nothing, he has to simply give the money. The other person who has taken the money will have to do supervision, coordination and organization of various things, and using all the factors of production in an optimum manner to produce a thing which can be sold at a higher price, and he will also ensure that there are buyers for that. So, all that work will be done by the entrepreneur. The capitalist simply invest, seeing the capacity and the confidence he had seen in the entrepreneur. Okay? This is the differentiation you have to understand. Schumpeter coined the word theory of innovation and economic development. He says that entrepreneurship was started being treated as a force in itself, which can take the economy of a country on a growth trajectories. I mean to say, on the paths of growth, nations can travel provided nation produce good number of innovative entrepreneurs. Schumpeter considered entrepreneurship as an important part of economic ecosystem. You may wonder what is the ecosystem. What is the ecosystem of cement industry? The ecosystem of cement industry is construction of cement roads, building activity, construction of building activity, real estate. Okay? Then you have various facilities being created by doing civil works by the governments, private industry, and mines available to make cement. You need mine, limestone and things like that. So, mining and the government regulatory things which are regulating the emissions of dust, emissions of other pollutants, okay, and the availability of abundant land and water. So, this is the ecosystem which is supporting a cement industry. So, the ecosystem needs to be taken into account along with the communities living in and around and the people. Okay. Schumpeter understood the innovation as one of the unique properties of an entrepreneur. This unique quality may be compulsorily exist in a capitalist, certainly, but he may not indulge in so many activities. His action stops by investing certain amount of his capital into an entrepreneurial action. His creative contribution to any venture is responsible for further expansion of the economic activities. So, an organization or a nation will flourish if it produces more innovators and more entrepreneurs. Schumpeter opined that an entrepreneur may invest capital in a business establishment. He might not even be indulged into day-to-day management activities need for functioning of the organization, but his most significant contribution is to bring creative and innovative aspects to the business, which contributes in terms of increasing profitability of the venture. So, a capitalist can be certainly an entrepreneur in a manner that he participates by giving innovative ideas to the entrepreneur. So, there are people, one is the entrepreneur who would like to come out with a venture, other one is a venture capitalist. You will find about that. The venture capitalists are the right people to understand the depth of the business. So, they understand the marketability of the products, they understand the future of the products. So, it is a trite entrepreneurship which helps in expanding a business. It is not a profession or an occupation. It is a kind of a mental activity. Entrepreneurship is not an attitude. It is a consistent behavior that you find in a person. He has to be entrepreneurial, he has to be innovative, he would like to find a new avenues to grow, he would like to find new ways of doing things which are going to give him more rewards. Okay? And remember one thing, that this entrepreneurial thinking is existing in every person. I will tell you what are the factors which are affecting the innovation, will be the same factors which are affecting the entrepreneurs. Schumpeter's theories may hold good in such markets where perfect competition is practiced, but these practices may not be appropriate for the less developed capitalist countries with a few large firms dominating the manufacturing business. However, Schumpeter has paved the way for future, and absolutely no doubt. Schumpeter has given a perspective about the entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship is a trait, is a kind of part and parcel of the psyche of a person. So, let us understand what are the internal and external factors affecting the innovation. Corporate culture, leadership styles. If you have more yes boss, I mean to say yes man, whatever you say, people say yes sir, then that culture is a dictatorship culture. So, you decide what is to be done, people will blindly follow. Okay? So, the corporate culture determines the quality of entrepreneurship and the number of entrepreneurs coming up. You will find in some companies that a person worked as an MD of a company, resigned from that company, opened his own company, because he understood how to conduct the business. He understood the potential in the business. There are many construction companies like that. I worked in a company where the chairman of the company was the MD of another company, and he opened his own shop and he flourished, and he created an empire worth 20,000 crores of turnover. Why it is? Because people come to know about the worth and the immense opportunities available in that one, future expansion expectations, and they have got the confidence. Availability of finance and liquidity. Suppose a company has got excellent assets, it will flourish. It will certainly flourish because it had invested wisely its surplus into land, and the land value is growing up. You will find many people who are buying small plots, and they accumulate 15 plots over a period of say 15 years. By the time they come to the age of 50 or 55, each piece of land will be worth a crore or more than a crore. Then what happens? Suddenly, overnight rather, he will become the crorepati, because he wisely invested in the plots. People who have invested in the plots have flourished very well during this time, because you see the economic activity is increasing manifold. If there is a history and tradition in the firm that they will be using the money in a wisest manner, then the internal forces will certainly create more entrepreneurs. There are external forces which are going to create entrepreneurship. Level of competition, the dynamics of the market, the way government is facilitating it. You see today each chief minister in the state is selling about the uniqueness of the state. It says there is ease of doing business. Earlier you will have license Raj, you will have police Raj, you will have government control. Today governments are saying, I will provide you ease of doing the business. I do not interfere in your activities, and there is GST. So many taxes you have to pay. Okay. Now tax structure is being simplified, and control systems are also simplified. Single window, you need not go to several departments to get various approvals. At one window, that means one department, you apply for establishing a factory, we give you permissions. They are saying that some of the state governments are saying that 15 days time you give you license. Changing, things are changing. Okay. And what is the state of the economy of the each state? You will find UP, vibrant UP, you will find vibrant Gujarat, you will find vibrant Maharashtra. Why? Because there are state economy is very good state. I mean to say the state itself is having a very healthy finance. So, investors would like to invest in that kind of states. And state will also say that we have got this much, this is the population. Among this population, there are so many consumers for your products. There are so many opportunities for you to expand your business operations. And we have made our laws simple. They will not give you botheration. So, that is how states are competing with each other in creating external ease of business doing. Schumpeter, Joseph Schumpeter is 1934, has given innovation theory. Broadly, according to him, the process of innovation in entrepreneurship may be in the form of introduction of new product, use of new methods of production, opening up of new market, conquest of new source of supplying raw material, new form of organization. One example that comes to your mind is new form of organization. 2000, year 2000 had seen the growth of IT industry. IT industry from 2000 onwards till now, that is 2021, if you see the kind of IT industry growth, unimaginable. Still in India, that is Bharat, we still have so much of scope to introduce and use IT in our daily activities. Our sewage system, that is drainage system, is not controlled by IT enabled services. We still have primitive systems. In many cities, you still have open drainage. We do not have underground drainage systems. We do not have control systems where if there is a stagnation of a drain in the underground system, you get signals. Okay. If there is a collapse of the land which has resulted in closing the flow of drainage, you do not have an alert system. These systems can be alerted and you can have a regulated flow of drainage into various water treatment plants, and water treatment will happen automatically. These are all the things which our country is still to have it. So, the scope of IT in Bharat itself is immense. I am just giving you an example about that. Okay. Schumpeter was a famous economist who laid stress on innovative and creative approach as the major trait in an entrepreneur. According to him, a dynamic entrepreneur appears in a traditional economy and comes up with a revolutionary process of creative destruction. What is creative destruction? As I told you, Intel is the best example of creative destruction. It destroys its own products and comes up with a new product, Intel Pentium In. You see, several versions have come up. You see, they all electronic goods, they will become obsolete over a period of time because new technologies have come up. Even your smartphone, its capacities are increasing. Earlier days, you have to pay huge money for 1 GB of data. Now, 1 GB of data, according to I think Jio plans, can be obtained by paying 15 rupees. This is how technology has become more prevalent, and see, people are doing business in volumes. Selling, for example, earlier days refrigeration, that is refrigerator, fridge was once upon a time a status symbol. Now, is it a status symbol now? No, it is a requirement in the kitchen, because you need to preserve certain things. Everybody is working. You buy vegetables and you do things and you preserve them, you protect them from perishing. So, you need a refrigerator as a requirement. It is no more a status symbol. ACs, yes, once upon a time it was there. Now, people are buying, middle class people, lower middle class people are willing to buy coolers, and cooler market is thriving, and there are indicators that there are several changes, economic, social and physiological. This is the gentleman whom we have been talking about, Schumpeter. A new product with quality, adoption of new technology, coming up with new market, finding out new source of supply, bringing about a new organization of an industry. This is the man, he is an economist who come out with the parameters of innovation. Every theory will have its own shortcomings. He lays stress on exclusively on innovative functions of the entrepreneur. It does not consider the aspects that are crucial to an entrepreneur, like organizing capacity of the entrepreneur. Schumpeter completely overlooked one of the most important functions of an entrepreneur, that is risk taking. I would even say that an entrepreneur will have an appetite for taking risk, which is embedded in his psychology. He may not have uttered it so many ways, but a person will be able to invest his hard earned money as a capital into a business venture, provided he has got a risk appetite, I mean to say ability to take risk. If I am going to lose this one, does not matter, I will be able to manage it through some other things. So, that is the kind of a risk taking ability. Unfortunately, Schumpeter was not able to talk exclusively about it, and he belongs to an economy which is having higher standards of living. Okay. The concept of innovation might not be suitable for countries which are still developing, underdeveloped countries, third world countries, but today world is a global village. You can sell your products anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. So, many nations are waking up from the slumber, and they are also thinking about how to come into the mainstream and participate in the development. So, the difference and the bridges are many now. They will be gapped by there are gaps in the development. These gaps will be bridged by innovative entrepreneurial activities, and many companies are doing that one. So, a pain of a nation is a business opportunity for an entrepreneur. So, this is how we have to look at the shortcomings of the theory of innovation, but these shortcomings are going to be irrelevant over a period of time, as the theory is going to evolve itself in the practical aspects of conducting the business. You have Max Weber theory of entrepreneurship. I would like to give some draw some parallels and some differences, kind of a thing. Okay. The common and the key pivotal point for both Max Weber and Joseph Schumpeter is innovation. That is the common point. The meaning of innovation varies slightly in both the theories. Innovation of Weber's entrepreneur is an outcome of thoroughly rationalizing of every aspect of the enterprise. Of course, this kind of debates are intellectual in nature, but Weber during that time would like to see the rationale behind any change. So, in a way his innovation is also akin to Schumpeter. The concept of Schumpeter is more creative in the sense that the entrepreneur's creativity is the merely limited to the systematic ordering of means to an end, as mentioned previously, he may bring about a breakthrough. I mean to say, Weber would like to play with the available things, existing things, whereas Schumpeter would like to destroy the existing things and bring in a new thinking altogether. Okay. There are two ways of looking at it. This can happen and that can also happen even today. What is the best option? You have to see in terms of return on investment. So, at the end of the day, your return on investment will decide which way you will go, whether you go the Max Weber way or the Schumpeter way, which means destructive technologies, disruptive technologies, or the technology which are going to enable. Say for example, the automation that is happening in many manufacturing activities. This automation is removing the chances of making mistakes by human beings. So, human error is being removed through artificial intelligence and automation. Still, the products are being made, same products are being made with less errors, and same products are being made more in number. So, Max Weber and Schumpeter complement each other because they belong to maybe different time periods and different cultures, different industrial atmospheres, but where Max Weber was talking about earlier, I was mentioning to you that the Hindus will not be willing to get into wealth making or creation of materialistic pleasures. I am sorry, Hindus are in the forefront. If you look at the many CEOs, our people are occupying the seats over there, Google, Microsoft, name a few. But if you see Hindu culture, it is more inclusive, more pluralistic, and that is the real secularism rather than the current secularism we are talking about. Sanatana Dharma is the eternal way of living, which is relevant eternally. So, Hindus are so called Hindus because we have to be given a religion's name. Sanatana Dharma is the way of living which is very ancient and still relevant. So, that is what it is. I would like to end this session with one shloka, again a Subhashita. Probably that will be able to help you understand how an entrepreneurial thinking shall happen. Chintayascha chitayascha bindu matram visishyate chita dahati nirjeevam chinta dahati jeevanam. Chita is funeral fire, chinta is thinking. There are people who have been having so much of chinta, that is thinking. They keep on thinking, they do not indulge in any actions. They keep on thinking, if I do this, this will happen, if this will happen, what will happen, if that will happen, when will happen, how will it happen. You get into several questions after questions and questions. I told you, samshayatma vinashyati, you will have series of doubts. You keep on contemplating, thinking, thinking. What happens? That thinking will burn you alive. But chita, that is a funeral pyre, is actually burned when you are dead. So, too much of thinking and absolutely no action leads to self-burning. So, do not burn yourself alive. I would request you to understand one thing, that you must have actions. Na vang matrena paurisham kriya uttamam. You should not only talk about this is what I do, this is what I do, but start doing certain things, because in doing only you get so many insights, so much of learning. All the best to you. Thank you very much.